Just a reminder, when you come into the chapel, remember it's not a yelling, screaming, loud talking kind of place. 10 people to a pew. Check your numbers, check your numbers. Make sure there's no more than 10 in your pew. We're going to start off every assembly. I should have everyone's attention. Every assembly will be in here, and we start with a prayer, the Pledge of Allegiance, and the school song. And so be thinking about the school song, people, because we need some help on this first day for those who don't even know it. And I'm going to ask Liddy to come down and start us with prayer. And just randomly throughout the year, I'll be asking you if you want to have prayer for chapel, and be brave and say yes. Okay.
All right, let's close our eyes. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we want to thank you for this day. Lord, thank you because we successfully finished our first week of school. Thank you so much, Lord, for all the blessings. Thank you for all the new people and all the returning students. I may ask you to keep blessing the year and each week that comes by. I may ask you to be with our assembly, Lord. Please be with us and keep us safe. And thank you so much for BMA. In the name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So the first thing that we do is we have the American flag here, and we stand and we do our Pledge of Allegiance. Now, don't stand yet, just a minute. So for those of you who are not from America, what do? You have respect, okay? So when we stand to do the pledge, you can stand. You do not have to pledge yourself to the allegiance of America, but you do need to stand and just stand there respectfully and quietly, okay? Everybody understand? And then we're going to remain standing, and then Brielle is going to come up, and we're going to do the school song. And at that time, anybody who wants to and knows the school song, come up and help lead it out. So let's all stand. We'll face the flag. We'll put our right hand over our hearts. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Remain standing. And now, anyone wants to come down and help with the school song? You know I'm not a singer, so someone's got to help me with this microphone. Shh. Come on up, someone with a voice, be in front of the mic.
With a voice. Get close.
Here we go.
Yes, come.
Good job.
We're loyal to you, BMA. To the gold and the blue will be true. With banners in hand, you're the best in the land. Oh, you're really grand, BMA. Rah, rah! These paths we have traveled along, while singing our victory song. All down through the years of wonder, memories of growing fatherhood in the BMA.
I love it, I love it, I love it. Now that is school spirit. That is our school song, and we're going to sing it every Friday that we have assembly. Now, you're going to learn about something today when, here he comes, but you're going to learn about salt, and I think they ask you if you go on that trip to sing the school song. So make sure that you know it, and please add the jazz hands, because that just adds everything to it. Seniors, remember today, after your last class, we're going to meet in the library for our class meeting. Thank you.
Yes, SALT is the Columbia Union Leadership Initiative. So there's all these academies that go down to a camp in Virginia, the Adventist camp down in Virginia, and they do leadership stuff. Who are the leaders? There's SA officers, there's class senior president, or class president, class pastors, and we'll be taking 10 students, and there'll be more information coming about that later. But Saturday night, everybody gets together and plays games, and one of the things you have to do is sing your school song. Every school has to do that. So know it, learn it, and you leaders that go will have fun. But those that are interested, you can start planning. Here's who goes. Who's eligible to go. Won't necessarily take every we can. We can only take 10. So it's SA president, SA vice president, SA secretary, SA treasurer, SA pastor, SA social secretary, whoever that is. What's a social secretary? Anyways, we'll make one of you that. Freshman president, freshman pastor, sophomore, junior, senior as well. Problem with you juniors is that we're leaving for Boston, and SALT comes back around noon to 1 o'clock. Well, we leave at 5:30 in the morning. So it's going to be a little bit of a problem there. So we've got to keep that in mind. A communications rep, yearbook editor, those are the leaders that are eligible to go. So of those 16, we will choose 10. Now, if we don't have enough, we may make somebody else something. Well, who's this SA social secretary? We'll make another leader and put it there. Who's the social secretary? What's that? Still deciding. So just for you know, this is a Thursday through a Sunday event, costs $110 to go. That includes your lodging, your food, and everything. So they haven't had it for the last 3 years because of COVID, and Now they're having it again, Blue Ridge Youth Camp. So each school, I think there's 8 schools that show up. You've got Spencerville, Tacoma, Shenandoah, HVA, Pine Forge, us, Lake Nelson, the school over at Kettering, Spring Valley. Those are the senior academies that are in our union, and then there's some junior academies that are eligible to show up. And there'll be 10 to 16 leaders from each school that show up. So you'll have a bunch of SA presidents there meeting together. You have a bunch of class officers meeting together, and you do things and you learn how things get done. They give you ideas, and you get to try things, and you collaborate. And it's just a real fun 4 days or so. But anyways, that's SALT. There'll be more information coming. The pastor is in charge of that, and we're looking for the other sponsor for that later on. Did you catch all that?
Bueno, estaba hablando sobre un evento que va a pasar ahora en septiembre y es para aquellos líderes que quieren participar. Hay una lista de aquellos que están, que pueden participar en el evento sobre liderazgo. Vamos con otras escuelas, van a haber entrenamientos, así que estén atentos para poder anotarse si quieren ir. Para aquellos que pueden, él va a poner la lista de aquellos.
Very nice. All right, so Sunday school, that's coming up. So Sunday school is going to be a little different schedule than what you're used to because there's only brunch and supper on that day. So we will be trying to adjust everything as best as we can around that. So just be watching. Hopefully sometime today, a little bit later, that schedule will come out and you'll be able to see exactly what's happening. If not, be looking for it during the weekend, and it should be posted so you'll know when classes start. But they will probably not start at 8 o'clock. It'll be later than that, so you can sleep in, which is nice.
Este domingo es nuestra primera clase de día domingo, así que vamos a tener una agenda diferente. Va a haber brunch y también cena, así que vamos a estar atentos para esa agenda y pueden despertar un poco más tarde.
Remember on Wednesday we talked about clubs? I'm going to be posting the clubs pretty quick here. We have a final decision on that. I'm going to list you the clubs verbally.
Ok, ahora les voy a decir cuáles son los clubes disponibles para este semestre.
So your options on Wednesday night are,
Las opciones para el día miércoles son
you have a history/art club.
Historia y Arte.
That's Mr. Kimball. It's going to alternate each week. So 1 week it'll be history, 1 week it'll be art.
Va a ser alternativo cada semana.
So I know that I don't know what he's going to plan with the history club, but there's probably some neat things. I know there's some neat things around here to go visit. Gettysburg's close by. You know, there's the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia. So there's downtown Philly's full of history.
Aquellos que van a ser parte del club de historia van a tener la oportunidad de viajar en áreas cercanas para hablar sobre historia.
And then you have the cooking club, which is legit.
Igual tenemos el club de cocina,
And you also have a robotics club. I finalized on that.
club de robótica
And you also will then have, a drama club.
y club de drama.
Okay? So
Teatro.
those are the 4 that are non-athletic.
Okay, esos son los que no tienen que ver con deportes.
Who's leading out in that? Mrs. Matthias is leading out in the drama.
La maestra de inglés va a estar como líder de este club de drama.
Mr. Moranza is leading out in the robotics.
El ingeniero Mioranza estará a cargo de robótica.
And there is a North American Division robotics competition that's usually held close by.
Igual tengan en cuenta que hay una competición a nivel norteamericana, división norteamericana,
Yeah, I think in the past it's been held at Pine Forge, which is 30 minutes away.
y tienen planes de viajar, parece que 30 minutos de aquí para eso.
And of course, Mr. Kimball's doing the other 2. I mentioned that.
Y pues el maestro Kimball va a estar liderando historia y arte.
The pastor's doing the cooking club along with his church members and some of the church members.
El pastor Adam y algunos de los filigreses de la iglesia van a estar liderando cocina.
Miss Nadia is doing the ladies volleyball.
La maestra Nadia con el grupo de voleibol de chicas.
Dean Bush is doing the men's volleyball.
El preceptor
Simmer down
Chris va a estar liderando voleibol para varones.
The soccer club, which will be early on in the year and then later in the year because of the light situation, that's being headed by Coach Culpepper.
El club de soccer va a ser liderado por el director, él mismo, y va a iniciar a inicios del año.
He's also doing the guys basketball,
Él también va a estar liderando básquetbol
and I will be doing the ladies basketball.
y también básquetbol para chicas.
And that is the clubs. They'll be listed for you to sign up sometime, either if not today, sometime on Sunday.
Se van a poder anotar próximamente, ya sea hoy o el domingo.
And I know you signed up during registration,
Y sé que algunos ya se anotaron a los clubes durante el día de registración,
but we didn't have all the clubs out there and you didn't know what they really were.
pero no teníamos todos listados, así que ahora que ya tenemos mejor idea, pueden estar atentos.
So if you signed up during registration, you're going to have to sign up again.
Así que si ya te inscribiste a un club en el día de registración, vamos a hacerlo de nuevo.
Okay, any questions about the clubs?
¿Alguna pregunta?
They meet Wednesday night during rec, and they are optional. The soccer one is a boys' league, although if girls are good enough, mean enough, you can play in that. That's a good question. Obviously, if they all meet on Wednesday night, that limits your ability. So you can join one with the exception of soccer. We're going to start with soccer, and then when the problems occur there, I think there's probably some tournaments around in the area we can take our students to on that one. That'll be the main goal, is to get to a tournament. Volleyball is going to be more of the year, and basketball is going to be more of the full year. So soccer will be the beginning and the end. We'll try to hit a tournament close by. I think you guys went to a tournament in New Jersey a couple of years ago. Stuff like that. It's the only Adventist tournament that's available is at Union and out at Walla Walla. Both of those would be rather pricey to actually get to because of the distance. It's 18 hours to Union, and you have to fly to Walla Walla, which is a great tournament. I've been to two of those tournaments with my teams at Walla Walla, and it's a great tournament, just a long way away. So we have to find something that maybe is church-centric or like youth-centric instead of just being a school thing. All right? Yes. There will be for the sports ones. Whether or not those coaches allow more people to be part of the club and only a small portion to do the tournaments. But if you had 30 people doing girls volleyball, nobody would play very much. So really you're only going to have 10 to 12 that actually do tournaments. But there could be more potentially if that person wants, they could come and practice and be part of that club. They just wouldn't do the tournament stuff. I am not sure about that. I imagine robotics can't be too large. Pastor, what about the cooking club? What about your numbers for that one? So 20 is a good number, or is that too many, too less? Yeah, that's right. So the Appalachian room is where that meets. So it's not the largest room, and you only have so many stoves. So there's a problem there. I know that let's see, the history one, is Mr. Kimball in here? History, art, probably, under the history you probably have a little bit more. It's just wherever you go, you may be limited to a van unless you can find a bus driver type stuff. The art would just be how much, stuff he gets for y'all to make a mess.
I'm going to translate the answers real quick.
Sorry.
Okay, so algunas respuestas de preguntas fueron, hay límite para espacios del club de deportes, así que estén atentos. No todos tienen que ser parte del club, no es necesario que se involucren. El club de cocina puede hasta 15 y eso es todo, creo. Okay, done.
Well, that was quick. That was going to be longer.
Just a summary.
Imagine they'll start Wednesday.
I think I got everything.
Yeah, we're not sure. We're looking at a tournament in November.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
okay.
y'all got to get rolling quick. We don't know if it'll happen. That would be one we'd host here. So we've already been in communication with some of the schools in our union about hosting a weekend here where we do a tournament and we have a religious thing with all the teenagers. So that would be 5, maybe 6 schools. So you're looking at 150 teenagers plus their sponsors.
Sorry, Daniel was texting.
You have to talk to Miss Nadia on that one. How much
I
they're going to allow.
And how much it might
Okay. Any other questions before we move on? Yes. Well, I think that's something you would need to talk to the person about, the team group about, because if you take someone else's spot, because it could be limited, so if you're not really committed, then it's probably not the best thing for you. But you do need to talk to whoever is the sponsor, the one you want to go in, find out what it's about. Go to it, go to Wednesday night, the first one, where it's going to be introductory or whatever, and just kind of see what's happening. I think that'd be the best thing. And if you're kind of halfway in, halfway out, and that you see there's a lot of people, just recuse yourself at that point.
Sí, si piensas que quieres cambiar de club, puedes hablar con la persona encargada, el maestro, y ahí pueden hacer los arreglos. Y allá preguntaron sobre, creo que estaba mencionando sobre torneos que van a haber con otras escuelas, si es que eres parte del club de deportes.
Clubs are optional.
I told them that
Oh,
already.
you told them that. Clubs are optional, so it's not something you have to do. There's open rec that night. So the library will be closed because everybody that's on supervision that night is in a club. So we can't have there. Everybody will have to either be on the field or in the gym. There will be tryouts for basketball. We can't have 30 people on a basketball court on each side. That would put 60 people. That'd be crazy. So, yeah, there will definitely be tryouts for basketball. I'm assuming for volleyball as well. Soccer, there'll be tryouts because you can't have 80 people trying out for soccer. It'd just be too much.
They're asking how many can you have in soccer? The soccer club.
Well, a regular soccer team's 24 people, but then a lot of people don't play. So it's really going to be up to the coach what he wants to do, how many he wants to put on. When I coach soccer teams in Oregon and North Carolina, I like to try to put 20 on the team so I could have scrimmages.
Okay, and that would be something they need to talk to the coach with.
Yeah, Wednesday night is when
Okay.
we'll start.
Okay, so you have hablen con el entrenador. There will be sign-up sheets in the
Yes, they'll
so
be
you
right
can
out
sign
here
up.
by my office. is
Yes,
where they'll be.
by his office.
So most of the time, there'll be one court open. So volleyball will do some of their practicing on the same court. So when you're doing some of the time on the same court, when you're doing some of your drills and movements and things, you don't have to have a net for that. The times that you need 2 nets because you're now into net drills and things, then there would be no courts available. But we still have the ping pong tables up. There's still the edges that you could throw and so on. So, because the basketball, the girls will practice on one side of the court, that closest over this way, and the guys will be on the other side. We'll probably be doing drills together, so one court will suffice, unless we're needing a scrimmage as we're coming close to tournament or so on. Basketball is looking right now at a tournament down in Tennessee at the first weekend back from Christmas break. So we're still looking. What's that? Both genders, yep. It's a good tournament. I took my team. It wasn't my team. I was just a groupie at that point. We went to that tournament a few years ago when I was at Pisgah. It's a nice little tournament. It's small, and you get a decent number of games. And Collegedale's a nice area, better area in January than Andrews in January. Yeah, it's Southern. It's not the Southern tournament. It's held at the academy in the middle school. Yeah. All right. Also, if you have an idea for a club, there's three things you're going to need. First, you got to run it through me because I'm the club administrator. You wanna start with that?
Si tienen ideas de otros clubes que podamos agregar, tienen que hablar con él primero
That way I can hear what your plan is, make sure it fits the standards of the school.
para saber qué es lo que les gusta y ver si puede ser parte de nuestro programa.
Yeah, an MMA club is not going to work.
What's an
Mixed martial arts.
Oh, ok, nada de karate, nada de eso.
So the second phase would be to see if you have support of students that want to do it.
De ahí queremos saber si otros estudiantes quieren ser parte de esto.
And the third phase would be to find a sponsor.
Y la tercera es de que debemos de buscar a un profesor que pueda liderar.
And doesn't necessarily have to be a staff member.
No necesariamente tiene que ser alguien que trabaja como profesor aquí,
But we have to have clearance of whoever is helping with that.
pero sí necesita él saber para que puedan tener luz verde.
And if you can't find someone that knows what's going on,
Si no conoces a alguien que pueda hacer eso,
I'm an equal opportunity wake up person.
¿ok? Recordemos que hay que
Even when
despertar.
my daughter's sleeping.
Aunque
Can you
seas mi
imagine
hija,
that?
tienes que despertar.
My daughter's sleeping on her father like that, I'm telling you. Parents look for every opportunity to embarrass their children. That's just how we work. So they don't have to know what they're doing, they just have to be supervising unless it's something dangerous. Like if you're gonna have a stamp collecting club, you pretty much just need an adult there to be with you all in the room.
Nada, pues no sé qué dijo, ahorita les digo. No sé.
Okay, any other questions about clubs before we move on?
Ok, ¿alguna pregunta sobre los clubes?
If it's a basketball team, so I don't know about the other ones. I can only speak for them. I can speak for me. I can't speak for them. So she asked, what if you have a lot to study? Can you skip that night? I told her if it's my basketball team, she's just walked off the team, basically. Because we only practice once a week, and I don't want you to embarrass yourselves. I've seen you girls play basketball, and it's not pretty.
Para la vida. No sé, creo que hizo.
I've been
Ok,
a coach for 30 years, so it's not pretty. It's really, the girls' basketball intramurals is really MMA. Scratching, punching, hip checks, a little hockey mixed in. We've got to train you how to actually play basketball.
ok, si no, digamos que hay un día que tienes tarea o examen y no puedes ir a club, hay algunos clubes que son más flexibles, pero si es de deporte, ahí va a ser un poco más difícil, pues, zafar, porque tienen sus juegos con otras escuelas y necesitan entrenar. Y otra cosa.
So you won't stay that way, girls. You're going to be much better. But you got to practice, and we're only practicing once a week, so we need that hour practice, okay? So if you're coming out to basketball, be ready to work. I'm a defensive mind when it comes to basketball. It means you got to run. But defense, when a defense shuts down an offense, it's a thing of beauty. And anybody with hustle can play defense. Now, obviously, we need some people that can score. But as a team, we're going to be a lockdown defense. That's going to be our strength. And then we'll work through our offense because you can teach defense a lot easier than you can teach offense. Good offense. Yeah, anybody can shoot the ball. All right, so All right, the last thing for orientation that we're going to cover.
Y la última cosa que vamos a ver,
Well, there's a couple things. First off, remember in the building here, there's no hoodies.
recordemos que no podemos tener sudaderas dentro de la escuela.
Yeah. And if you're wearing a jacket or outer clothing or any kind of clothing that's not DDC during school, it's got to go into your locker.
Ningún abrigo, sudadera, campera puede estar dentro de la escuela.
This is a really important point because it violates your DDC.
Esto es muy importante porque es una violación a la póliza de uniformes. Así que puedes meterlo al locker o dejarlo en tu mochila, pero no puedes ponértelo.
Yeah, this starts when you get your uniforms. Yeah. Be checking your emails. Sometimes it's like, oh, that's just an email from Mrs. Ingen. I know it's boring. No, it's got real stuff in it you need to know so then you don't get in trouble, because getting in trouble is that's a lot of excitement sometimes. You don't want that kind of excitement, all right? So when you don't have your DDC, you don't need to wear it. Now, if it's just dirty, that's your problem. That's not ours. But if you don't have it because you've ordered it, you're waiting, then yeah, we understand that not everybody has their uniforms yet. No hoodies in the ad building. You can thank your colleagues for that and your teammates here and your classmates, because they would put their hoods over their heads, or they do this, and then they put earphones in their ears, and it was a major problem, so we had to nix it. I love hoodies. I have 5 of them myself. But as far as a DDC, no. You can wear them in the gym, you can wear them in the dorms, you can wear them out and about, but not here in the ad building during school.
They said that they give it normally about 2 weeks because every school is starting right now, so they're trying to do it for every school, but they will send them here with your name on it. So when it comes.
All right. So one more step thing before we go to this last point. Jeans Day, don't forget. Those who are interested in Jeans Day is next week on Wednesday. Oh, it's Sunday. Oh, it's Sunday. And they'll be collecting $2 if you want to wear jeans. Otherwise, DDC is not jeans.
Okay, recordatorio que el domingo podemos usar pantalones y una blusa linda y tienen que pagar $2 a la entrada
All right, the last thing.
si quieren participar.
The last thing is very, very, very important,
Y la última cosa es muy importante
because you can go to jail.
porque puedes ir a prisión si no la sigues.
This is going, yes, not prison ministries. This is going to be a surface thing. Mrs. A will be going deeper in this later on with the things you need to fill out and different things that that you're going to need to do some testing and stuff.
Okay, después la maestra, que es también nuestra psicóloga, va a dar más detalles sobre lo que voy a decir.
So how many of you saw the Women's World Cup championship game?
¿Cuántos de ustedes vieron la copa de
Yeah.
las chicas?
Espanol was victorious. They beat England 1-0. And as they were celebrating, the Spanish president for soccer, the Soccer Federation in Spain, was hugging the lead scorer forever for Spain. They were just hugging. He steps back, grabs her face, and plants a kiss on her lips. Ladies and gentlemen, that is sexual harassment. That is a crime. Okay? Now, Spain's a different world. In the United States, you can go before a judge for that. You want to translate that so it's clear?
Yes, I kind of was telling them. There was hubo un
You don't have to
incidente.
go through the whole story. Just make sure they know that
Yeah, the idea. Hubo un incidente en la Copa Mundial de las Chicas donde la que ganó, algo así, le dio un abrazo a la otra persona y la trató de besar, y eso fue, se vio como acoso sexual porque fue forzado.
Yeah, let me reiterate something. She didn't want him to kiss her. That's what made it sexual harassment. If she'd have wanted it, that's just a guy and, it's 2 adults. And it was like, that was it. It was just a quick peck. But she said later, she said this, and this is very important. She said, No, it wasn't the most pleasant thing. But what can I do? That's Spain. The United States, it's a totally different world. Gentlemen and ladies, because sexual harassment goes both ways. If you do something like that, or you do things that are making the other sex feel uncomfortable, even the same sex feel uncomfortable, we're living in a strange world now. That is illegal. If you're not a minor, there are laws here in Pennsylvania. If you're 19 years old or 18 years old and you harass a 14-year-old, you're in big trouble. You are definitely going before a judge.
Ok, y esto tomando en cuenta también que eso fue en un evento donde la cultura era diferente, así que el español le dio un beso a la americana y ella lo sintió muy forzado. Entonces tenemos que tener cuidado con las culturas y ese tipo de cosas, incidentes.
Mrs. A is going to go into more details about the years difference because an 18 and a 17-year-old, there's really not much difference, right? If I just turned 18 and my girlfriend is now 17, 360 or 350 days, there's not much difference. And the law recognizes that. But if it's unwanted or the age different gap is too far between a minor and a non-minor, you can go to jail.
También tenemos que pensar en las edades. Tenemos que tener esa línea bien marcada con nuestros menores y puede ser algo que nos podemos meter en problemas con la ley.
Okay. Dude likes older women. Right. He's like, what if she's 25 and a model? No, that would be illegal. Okay, so let's say, for instance, this is normal because God made guys to like girls and girls to like guys. It's biblical, okay? Let's make that clear. He did not make guys to like guys and girls to like girls. He didn't make guys that think they're girls to like, anyways. So we are a biblical school. So understand that we recognize that God made something inside of you. That's why he said the two will become one. That's why he said that. And that's why you have this attraction to the opposite sex. We recognize that. So the question is, you're 14, that's the point, right? So what if he's got a girlfriend that's 16? If you guys are together and you're fine with it, within our laws, rules and everything here, that's okay because you're within the time gap. There's a time gap that Pennsylvania gives. She's also a minor too, so that's different. This really affects someone who's 18 or older. Now, harassment knows no age group. If you're 16 and you're harassing this 14-year-old, or whatever age he is, that is still harassment. Okay?
Yes.
If he's 14 and he's harassing a 16-year-old girl, that's harassment. If you're harassing or hazing someone in the same dorm, that's harassment. It's sexual harassment, even if it's same sex. Do not do foolish stuff like that.
Ok, considerando la edad, la cultura y el niño, el chico preguntaba si él tiene 14 y la chica tiene 16 y se pueden dar un beso. Entendemos que hay una atracción entre el sexo opuesto, pero por ejemplo, si él tiene 14 y la chica 18 ya es mayor de edad, entonces tenemos que, no, eso no puede pasar, porque ya tendríamos problemas con la ley. Pueden ser acusados ante la ley.
Now, I know you're going to have a lot more questions because there's details in your mind. Mrs. A will be coming to each dorm. Village students, the 12 of you that are village students, when you hear that she's going to be going to the dorm for that activity, it would be good if you could to be there. If you can't, then you need to go and talk to her on your own, just to make sure you understand, because dating is not what it was 20 years ago. You have to really be careful, and you have to understand the laws. You have to understand what you could be held accountable for. We live in a different world. Satan wants to take what God has made pure and God has made fun. Is it fun being around the opposite sex? I guess sometimes. Sometimes maybe not. You guys are like, Yeah. God made that attraction. That attraction is okay. It needs to be done within biblical guidelines and within the law. Okay?
Entendemos que va a haber esa atracción entre ambos sexos, pero recordemos siempre nuestros principios bíblicos, los principios de gobierno, las reglas para poder tener esas sanas relaciones.
We'll be covering more of the social policy next week at chapel, so you kind of get an idea. More if the deans haven't covered that yet, we'll be doing that, but we need to end this now. So just understand, we understand social. We all were in an academy or a school at some time. I'm married, so I must have had some attraction somewhere. Yeah, this is how it works. So it's natural, okay? But we do have guidelines we're going to live under, and we want you to be safe, and we want you to feel safe. You know, I had a guy last year come to me and said, man, I'm being harassed by this girl. And he talked to us, and we worked through it. And it was a girl that just had this crush on this guy and wouldn't leave him alone. It was like stalking stuff. That's harassment. So most of the time it seems to be the other way, guys harassing girls, but we're in a different era. So everybody needs to know so that they can be safe. And we want you to be happy. All right? Good. Adios. Have a good day.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.